Hello students, we've come to part C of the June holiday assignment. We will focus on solving linear equations in this video. Let's look at the first questions. We're asked to solve the following equations. Part A, 2x minus 5 equals to 9. So basically we need to find the value for x, right? So what we're going to do is we'll try to find the zero pair, right? So to get rid of negative 5, we need to add 5. Because negative 5 plus 5 give you 0. So we're going to add 5 to both sides of the equation. And we'll get 2x equals to 14. And 2x means 2 times x. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So to find 1x, we need to divide by 2 on both sides. And x equals to 7. So this is how we solved a linear equation. So if you're going to substitute x equals to 7 into your equation, you can see that on the left hand side, you will have 2 bracket 7 minus 5, and that gives you 9, which is equal to what we're given on the right hand side. Let's look at part B. So for part B, right, I have 2x minus 1 on the left hand side, negative 2x plus 1 on the right hand side. So I'm going to put negative 2x together with my 2x here. So to get the zero pair, negative 2x, I must add the 2x. So the 2x minus 2x give me 0. So I have to add 2x to both sides. Remember, this is the equation. So whatever you do on the right-hand side, you have to do it on the left-hand side as well. Right, so we will have 2x plus 2x gives you 4x. 4x minus 1 equals to 1. And to get rid of negative 1 on the left-hand side, we have to add 1 to both sides. So that will give us 4x equals to 2. And divide by 4 to find 1x. So x is equals to half. Let's look at the next questions. The next questions are slightly harder because we will have to apply distributive law to expand all these terms before we can manipulate it further. Right, so that will give us 3 bracket c plus 3 bracket negative 4 equals to c bracket c plus 6 bracket negative 5. That will give us 3c minus 12 equals to 6c minus 30. Right, and I'm going to group all the terms with the letter c, variable c together. So therefore, I'm going to find the zero pairs for 6c. So that is negative 6c on both sides. So I would have 3c minus 6c give me negative 3c minus 12 equals to negative 30. Because this and this will give me 0. And then to find the zero pair for negative 12, I would have to add 12 to both sides. Right, so this will be gone. So I have negative 3c equals to negative 18. So to find 1c, I divide by negative 3 on both sides. And that's how I get c equals to 6. Let's look at the next one. The next one is more complicated because it involves a square bracket. And in the square bracket, we have another bracket. Right. So we will deal with the innermost first, the innermost bracket, which is this one here. We work from inside out. All right. So all other things remain the same, meaning 3x is there, the square bracket is there, right? And we just use the distributive law to expand this. So that gives us 3 minus 2 bracket 3x minus 2 bracket negative 7 square bracket equals to 37. Right, so we can simplify all the terms inside your square bracket. Simplify again because 3 plus 14 can give you 17. And finally, let's manipulate the square bracket, right, by putting a 1 there. So that gives us 3x minus 1 bracket 17 minus 1 bracket negative 6. This one here, I've skipped one step. Right, that gives us 3x minus 17 plus 6x equals to 37. 3x plus 6x will give us 9x minus the 17. 9x minus 17 equals to 37. So to find the zero pair, I need to add 17 to both sides. Right, let's look at the next questions. So the next questions involved involve fractions. They are all together 4 terms here, right? And we see that 2x is not expressed as a fraction, so we're going to do that by writing it as 2x over 1. And we're going to find the lowest common multiple of 1, 4, 3, and 6. So the lowest common multiple for 1, 4, 3, and 6 will be 12. Yes, 12. So to get 12 means I need to take 1 times 12. 4 must times 3. 3 must times 4. And 6 must times 2. Okay, you do that at the denominator, also at the numerator. And so we would have this. And since now your denominators are the same, we can just compare the numerator. So we would have 2x times 12 gives you 24x. Minus 3 times 3, that's 9. So 24x minus 9 equals to 4x plus 10. And this is similar to what we've done earlier on. We minus 4x on both sides to find the zero pair, and plus 9 on both sides. Right, and then divide by 20 to find 1x. Okay, the next questions. Okay, so there are 3 terms here, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to write 1 as a fraction, as 1 over 1. Then the lowest common multiple for 1, 3, 4 will be 12. Right, so we have the same denominator. Now we can compare the numerator. Right, so that will give us 12 minus 4 bracket x plus 5. Right, you can multiply this in, so that will give you 4x. 4 times 5 gives you 20. The bracket remains there. Don't remove the bracket because why? Because this one, when expanded it correctly, will give you negative 1 times 4x. Negative 1 bracket 20 gives you negative 4x minus 20. All right. So if you do not have the bracket there, right, some of you may give me 12 minus 4x plus 20 instead of minus 20, and that is incorrect. So that explains the importance of brackets. And if you're confused, please go look at my earlier 2 videos, the part A and part B, to understand the importance of brackets. Right, so 12 minus 20 will give you negative 8. So negative 8 minus 4x equals to 9x minus 9. We're going to subtract 9x on both sides to find the zero pair. So you minus 9x on both sides here. So this and this gone. So negative 9x minus 4x gives you negative 13x. And then the next step is to add 8 to both sides. So this and this gone. So negative 9 plus 8 gives you negative 1. So the next step is to divide by negative 13 on both sides. So that's give us x equals to 1 over 13. Right, let's look at the next one. Right, so there are 3 terms there. We're going to write 3 as a fraction, so 3 over 1. So the lowest common multiple for 1, y, 1, and 2 will just be 2y. Right, 2y. So to get 2y, I need to times 2 at the denominator, numerator. This one must times 2y. This one must times y. Okay. So this is what I have. All right, so the same thing, denominators are the same. We just compare the numerator. So that will give us 4 minus 6y equals to y. Right, so add 6y to both sides so that you get 4 equals to 7y. And since we're finding y, the value for y, we have to make it on the left hand side. So 4 minus 4 equals to 7y is the same as 7y equals to 4. And divide by 7 on both sides to find 1y. So let's look at part B. Right, so the LCM for 3k plus 1 and 2k. Right, first of all, sorry, we need to bracket the 3k plus 1. We mentioned so many times. Anytime you see more than one term, bracket it. Right, and the LCM for 3k plus 1 and 2k will be just bracket 3k plus 1 times bracket 2k. Okay, now we compare the numerator. Watch out for this. There's a negative in front of the bracket. So that gives you negative 9k minus 3. Right, add 9k to both sides to get 33k. And then divide by 33 on both sides to get k equals to negative 1 over 11. Right, for this question, okay, we're going to write 4 as a fraction. So that is 4 over 1. So the LCM for these two terms will just be bracket 2x minus 1. Okay, so let's compare the numerator. Right, so we're going to subtract 8x on both sides. So this and this goes off. So 5x minus 8x will give you negative 3x plus 3y equals negative 4y, right? The next thing is minus 3y on both sides. So that's how I end up having negative 3x equals to negative 7y. Now we asked to find the value of the ratio x is to y. So this is the same as finding the value for y, x over y. Right. So to do that, I will need to divide both sides by negative 3y. So that your negative 3 and negative 3 goes off. Here, the y and the y goes off. So x over y is 7 over 3. So therefore, the value for x is to y is equal to 7 is to 3. That's the answer. Right, let's look at the last question. The last question comprises of a rectangular picture that is 5x centimeter long and 8 centimeter wide. And there's a border of 2.5 around it. Alright, so for part A, we asked to find the perimeter of the picture. So perimeter means to find the outline. Right, so basically you just take 8 times 2 plus 5x times 2. So that gives us bracket 10x plus 16 close bracket centimeter, because the units for measuring perimeter is in centimeter. So that's part A, part I. So A, part 2 is to find the area. So it's just length times breadth, which is just 5x times 8. That gives you 40x centimeter squared. So for part B, show that the area of the border is 25x plus 65. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the big rectangle. So the length of the big rectangle will be 5x plus 2.5 plus 2.5. And that gives us 5x plus 5. That's for the length. So for the breadth, will just be 8 plus 2.5 plus 2.5. And they give us 13. Right. So this is what we have, the area of the big rectangle. And you expand it to get 65x plus 65. And then we're going to use this area of this big rectangle to subtract the area of this picture, which is basically 40x. So therefore, the area of the border will be 65x plus 65 minus 40x. Give you 25x plus 65, which is what they are asked to show. So shown. Right, so this value is actually equals to 145 in part C. Right, so we asked to find the value of x here. Right, so subtract 65 on both sides to find 25x. That gives you 80. Divide by 25 to find 1x. And that is 3.2. All right, so that's all for part C. Right, so happy practicing.